Hey guys, Brian Flickinger here of Team Flick, running a little solo episode of Flick Knows here. But I just wanted to kind of go through a couple of questions we've been getting asked in the last couple of weeks here. I thought it'd be just kind of fun to do a little bit more of like a Q&A with some questions that we've been hit up with. So, the first one was, what's the best part of living in Summit County? And I think that's pretty easy. I mean, the outdoors, it's awesome. You've got such access to Forest Service land here. You got the skiing, the mountain biking. You've got really just any kind of activity that you want to do is something that you can do here, whether it be hunting, gold medal fly fishing, anything you really want to get into, you can get into. And so I think that's probably the best part. The worst part, contrary to that, is what's the worst part about living in Summit County? That's a question that's usually a follow-up after the what's the best part. And the worst part, I would say, is having to choose. There's so many fun activities up here. And we were talking to one of the folks we work with who is a chimney sweep, and he's like, yeah, I just kind of every 4 or 5 years have to switch up what my activity is, what I'm really focused on, whether it be skiing or fly fishing or snowboarding. You got snowmobiling, kayaking during the summer. It's mountain biking, great road biking, hiking, camping. You can't do it all. There's just not enough hours in the day. So that's what makes it really hard about living up here, is kind of narrowing down your activities. One thing that I do get asked almost every time we're out on showings is, how are the school systems in Summit County? And they actually just came out with some ratings, and they got rated. We have one of the highest graduation rates in the state, and the schools are really high performing. Our daughters go to school at Dillon Valley, which is a dual language school. So they spend 50% of the time getting instruction in Spanish and 50% of the time getting instruction in English. And it's really something awesome to see that in a public school. And she's learning math and science, everything in dual language. They're implementing that now in the Silverthorne Elementary School. You've got in Frisco, you've got STEM programs. So each of the schools really has something unique and fun. So the schools are awesome up here. And, I think the more you get involved in the schools too, that's kind of what makes it as well. Couple of fun questions though that I think would be fun to kind of run through. One was, do things close in big snowstorms up here? And the short answer is no. I mean, I-70 obviously closes periodically if there's accidents. For safety reasons, they may need to close I-70. But typically, you can get from one side of the county to the other side of the county without any problems whatsoever. But I mean, you should see some of the heavy equipment they have here to move the snow piles around. They do the cul-de-sac in front of our house using a front end loader. And so, they've got snow blowers that they can use on the fronts of heavy machinery if they need to push piles back. But yeah, I mean, rarely do things close down. Occasionally, the schools will be on a 2-hour delay, but if you can't get to the ski resorts, then I mean the snow is useless, right? So you gotta be able to get out there and get around. So I do recommend having snow tires when you're up here, though. If you're up here living here full time, well worth the money for the safety. And then finally, where do they put the moguls in the summertime? I'm kidding. Nobody's actually ever asked that, but if you want to know, hit me up. Send me a comment or shoot me an email. But as always, I think we'll do some more of these Q&As in the future. So if you have any questions, hit us up at teamflick@summitliving.com, or you can check out all of the latest, most up-to-date listings and price reductions at flickrealestate.com. So look forward to hearing from all of you, and we'll see you next week for another episode of Flick Knows. See you next week.